Hello and welcome to Cutting to the Ball in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, and in a change to this week's scheduled broadcast we bring you an emergency episode. The signs. Someone changed the bulb in the sign. We're on red alert. It's an emergency broadcast. I'm Ben, I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
Claire.
Hey.
And Pete.
Hello.
This week we're going to discuss the David Grusch UAP leak. It's a biggie.
It's a biggie.
Yep.
It's massive.
Potentially.
Is it a part of the files that, you know?
Well, we'll get in.
And that's UFO for old school people.
Yeah, well, yes, technically UFO, UAP, the terms are kind of interchangeable, but we did discuss this a while. Like UFO tends to lead you straight to the classic flying saucer. Let's thank some new returning listeners and then we'll get right into it. And I was in Michigan. Ooh, Nanuet in New York. Friendship, Wisconsin. That sounds lovely. Puebla City in Mexico, Highland Park in Illinois, Slough in the United Kingdom, Las Vegas in Nevada, Brussels, Belgium, Frankfurt am Main in Germany, Bengaluru in India, Herne Bay in the United Kingdom, Evora in Portugal. That's a new one.
Welcome.
Los Angeles in California, Stevenage in the United Kingdom, Guadalajara, Spain, Ashburn, Virginia, and Council Bluffs in where the hell is IA?
Indianapolis?
I was thinking
Indiana, I think.
Indianapolis, fucking hell.
Well, IA, if it's not IA, then, you know, let us know.
Council Bluffs.
Thanks to everybody, yeah.
Yeah, please tell a friend, tell a loved one, tell several friends if you've got them. Follow us on Facebook at Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse, YouTube at Apocalypse Bull, or SoundCloud and other podcasting platforms at Cutting for the Bull in the PTA.
You can always chat with us through the chat as well, and we'll always reply, one of us.
Tell everybody in the United States we want one from every state.
Now, on to it then. Intelligence officials say the US has retrieved craft of non-human origin, not just the US.
So ants have been making aeroplanes as well, and badgers.
The badgers maybe, but definitely not the ants. Badgers, you can't trust a badger.
It's a bit of a bombshell headline, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly is. And this is by Leslie Keane and Ralph Blumenthal. We're taking this from the debrief.org, which is where the news is broken. The reason that this is seen as being so potentially huge is that Leslie Keane and Ralph Blumenthal released with the help of Luis Elizondo, another former intelligence official, released stuff about the Tic Tac sightings of the US fleet in 2021 that actually occurred in 2017.
Why are they getting the information?
They're researchers and these guys are coming to them. They're all legit, these people. Luis Elizondo, it's proven he worked for the US intelligence services, the same as Ralph Grusch.
And remember, Congress now want to find out the truth. So they're probing. Obviously there's a fine line, isn't there? Information being released because are they classified or not? That's where all the secrecy is, isn't it? Classification.
Just in the nick of time, a bit of rumble of thunder.
Rumble of thunder, as soon as Mike says that, yeah, listen, if you do hear any thunder around a storm, there's not much you can do about that. The UK is experiencing some lovely weather at the moment, but sadly we've got a thunderstorm. A former intelligence official turned whistleblower. I just also want to say as well, remember that, you know, the military, US military, said that they weren't investigating this stuff when these Tic Tac happenings were going on.
Just a month or so ago.
And then all of a sudden they come out, oh yeah, we have been investigating them actually. So Project Blue Book never actually really ended, he just went more covert and got another name that we don't know what it is yet. But ATIP.
They've got to be noting stuff down. Because of Project Blue Book, that was, you know, just everybody collating stuff about UAPs, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And
and ball lightning.
And ball lightning.
And that swamp gas.
And the swamp gas.
Reflecting off Venus.
But we're in a different world now, a different ballgame now, isn't it, if this is true?
Yeah.
It's not just things we've seen in the sky and whatever, we've got this shit. Well, the US has, and maybe other countries.
Apparently other countries have, but we'll get into it.
Okay.
So a former intelligence official turned whistleblower has given Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, so that's big, it's given it to Congress and the Intelligence Community Inspector General, extensive classified information about deeply covert programs that he says they possess retrieved intact and partially intact craft of non-human origin. The information, he says, has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he filed a complaint alleging that he suffered illegal retaliation for his confidential disclosures.
It's on a need-to-know basis at first, isn't it?
They tried to shut him up.
Shut him up, yeah. They haven't beat him up or anything, but they certainly stonewalled his career and stuff like that. Revoked certain clearances and things like that. Other intelligence officials, both active and retired, with knowledge of these programs through their work in various agencies, have independently provided similar corroborating information both on and off the record. The important thing here is a lot of people are on the record.
Yeah.
We need to find out who is on and who is off.
I think he may come to that, but definitely David Grusch is on the record.
He is, but he's not a first-hand eyewitness, sadly.
No.
He still works for them.
He does, and he
did.
He says that people that have got first-hand witness experience have talked to him, but again, it's not quite hearsay, but it's not first-hand.
Is he seeing the documents?
Well, it doesn't matter, does it? They could have been forged.
Why would you forge your own intelligence agency's documents?
Well, you put them off.
It just throws fuel on an already growing fire, doesn't it? It's counterproductive to
Why
forge
do people
your...
do many things?
Well, the whistleblower is David Charles Grusch, who's 36. He's a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, the NGA, and the National Reconnaissance Office, the NRO. They have quite a cool job. They're the ones who literally go in and reconnaissance or recce the ground for airstrikes.
So he's got some credentials. He's not just some nobody.
Oh no. He served as the Reconnaissance Office's Task Force representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force from 2019 to 2021. From late 2021 to July 2022, he was the NGA's co-op lead for UAP analysis and its representative to the task force. So he's like looking at all the stuff, isn't he?
Scientifically, he's looking at it, trying to be objective.
He's blue booking it.
Yeah.
The task force was established to investigate what were once called, obviously, UFOs, and are now officially called unidentified anomalous phenomena.
You said anomalous?
I know.
Hey!
The task force was led by the Department of the Navy under the Office of the Under-Secretary for Defence for Intelligence and Security, and has since been reorganised and expanded into the All-Domain Anomaly Research Office to include investigations of objects operating underwater. I said it again.
Resolution Office, though.
Right, close. I was happy about getting anomaly right. I was,
Objects operating underwater, so what, these are underwater UFOs? So
USOs?
UAPs.
Unidentified submerged objects.
And there's a lot of cases, there's a lot of witnesses about that, a lot of cases.
One we had last week, wasn't it?
Well, the Brooklyn Bridge, yeah, technically. The Shag Harbour incident in 1967. You had the Coast Guard out looking for that, and they could see a bright light under the water until eventually it just fucked off faster than they could follow it. Yeah, and obviously the Tic Tacs, weren't they, going underwater at times?
I thought they were just in the sky, the old Tic Tacs.
There was another one released, I think, with the Tic Tac. That's the one that went under the water, I think.
I've seen orbs, people claiming orbs going underneath the sea. Well, sort of like, not orbs, like spherical craft, potentially.
At least the question is have aliens got underground bases, undersea bases, like Bond villains?
A bit like Abyss.
Gonna say that myself, the Abyss, yeah.
You know?
What's the
You
other
seen
one?
that film, haven't you?
Sphere? That's all.
Sphere, yeah.
Sphere.
Dustin Hoffman.
It's a bit weird, isn't it, that one?
Dustin Hoffman, there's someone you don't see very often anymore.
I was thinking he's about 19, eh?
Not since Meet the Fockers.
Oh yeah.
Probably his last round that he'd really seen him in.
Alright, back to Grusch. He says the recoveries of partial fragments through and up to intact vehicles have been made for decades through the present day by the government, its allies and defence contractors.
Do you know what the earliest, they're saying, the craft that they found?
Is it before Roswell?
Yep.
Is it something like the turn of the century or something like 1900 and something?
1933, I've heard, Italy.
Interesting.
Apparently, the document was signed by Mussolini himself.
Wow.
That's what that Luis Elizondo says, yeah.
Interesting.
Goes back to 1933.
There's always some speculation the Germans had a UFO crash, Nazi Germany had a UFO crash.
You say that, the 1933 one was bell-shaped.
That's the Nazi bell, and then and eventually we'll do an episode on the Kecksburg incident where there's something that looked like the Nazi bell went down in Pittsburgh.
So maybe the Nazis did try and back-engineer alien craft. If it landed in Italy in 33, that's the fascist empire.
Yeah.
They were part of it, really.
Yeah.
Well, Hitler came in 33, remember?
Yeah.
Mussolini's back pocket, weren't they?
Also bear in mind that Nazi Germany had the world's leading scientists and atomic scientists in the 30s. They led the world in science, Germany did, in the 30s. There's every reason that Mussolini and Hitler being mates, you might have gone, you've got some top men. Top men. How about I send you this shit and you see what we can do for both of us? It's a valid point.
So maybe the Nazi bell
is a possibility.
Yeah, maybe.
But then let's factor in what? Roswell. Let's factor in that Mexican UFO crash we had.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, come on, that makes perfect sense.
The Mexican Roswell,
The
maybe.
Mexican Roswell. You weren't here for that one, Claire. You were away that week. It was just us three, wasn't it? Just me, Mike and Pete.
It was quite an interesting one.
So there's a chance that basically everything the conspiracy theorists have been saying about UFO crashes could be absolutely fucking true.
Could be. Well, it's certainly a percentage of it, if not all of it, obviously.
Analysis has determined the objects retrieved are, quote, of exotic origin, that's non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle morphologies and material science testing, and the possession of unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures, end quote, he said. So basically, it's fucking, we don't know what this shit is. We're the Americans and we're supposed to be the most technologically advanced country on the planet and we don't know what this shit is.
Don't know what it's made of.
I like how it's exotic.
I like that. I like how it's described as exotic. It makes me think of Tiger King.
I mean, it might not be aliens, it might be interdimensional beings, it might be us in the future.
Non-human origin.
Yeah.
Although if they're from the future, then obviously non-human origin is going to be a bit messy.
Well, we might have evolved into something else.
I've seen, you know what, that is actually a common theory that humanity evolves into the greys.
What, and greys are actually just...
Us from the future, yeah.
Just us from the future, that's what we evolve into.
Almost like the Marklars in South Park, was it?
Oh, the guys who come back in time to get all the jobs, they took our jobs!
yeah, but...
Because they'll work for nothing, because it's a future, it's a fortune in the future. Like $1 an hour because the economy's crashed or something. Yeah? They took our jobs! They took our jobs! In filing his complaint, Grusch is represented by a lawyer who served as the original Intelligence Community Inspector General, so he's no mug.
Oh.
Is he?
You hope not.
He's literally been head of the... He's the Intelligence Community Inspector General. He investigates all the intelligence communities.
Doesn't mean that he's intelligent.
You'd think he'd be quite qualified at his job. He's also a lawyer.
Okay.
We're not talking about prosaic origins or identities, said Grusch, to quote him, referencing the information he provided Congress and the current Intelligence Community Inspector General. To quote him again, the material includes intact and partially intact vehicles.
Ooh. Get him out then, let's have a look.
This is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
What, here now? You sure?
This is the problem. It's this guy's word, isn't it?
Yeah.
He might be lying for all we know.
But he's still being represented by a man who's clearly no
it's
mug.
unlikely because he's going to get some kind of
Well, he's going to get absolutely
repercussions,
trashed, isn't he?
For lying to Congress.
Yeah, lying to Congress. If the guy who was the Intelligence Community Inspector General is representing him in this, he must certainly feel that this man's telling the truth.
Well, he himself could have been lied to without him knowing. He thinks it's the truth.
Secrets upon secrets upon secrets.
But why would they lie?
Why would you try and double bluff your own intelligence community into thinking you've got alien craft when you haven't? Is it to throw off the Russians, the Chinese, and they start leaking it out?
Maybe it's a power play.
Is it like, oh, we've got this, but then again, apparently the Chinese, the Russians, the Brits, maybe the Australians have got this stuff too.
They're all in on it.
We've had allegedly a crash in Wales.
Yeah.
Who knows how many others? Rendlesham Forest.
Well, I was going to say, if this has happened in the US and their forces have managed to capture fallen UAPs or whatever, guarantee it's happened to us as well. We've got the technology and the ability to cover up shit ourselves, haven't we? Let's face it.
Oh yeah.
A lot of like some of your poorer countries,
as long as they've got a functioning military that's half decent, they can turn up, take this stuff away, and lock it up somewhere.
That's Costa Rica, right then.
So you think,
Costa Rica out.
What do you think? France, Italy, Germany,
Mexico,
Spain,
Brazil, Russia, China, India, Pakistan. The list goes on.
Most countries are bound, because unless the aliens are just purely singling out the US, which, let's face it, if the aliens are coming to us, they're clearly more intelligent than us. If they're that intelligent, they ain't going to be bothering so much with the US, are they?
Oh, might have been so out most of our listener base there, Pete.
I'm joking.
His credibility goes up for me because he was a part of a task force that was watching the skies.
Yeah.
He was gaining intelligence from the people that were watching the skies.
I thought
He's in a...
the guy that's told it.
Grusch.
Yeah, he was a part of the task force, wasn't he?
He was a representative to another task force as well that worked together. So he's fairly high ranked within this organisation.
He's just the reporter, isn't he?
I guess you could think of who was the captain that hung around with what's his face?
Exactly what I was thinking. Lee
in Blue Book.
Lee, was his first name Lee, or am I thinking?
I honestly can't remember. But the guy who was in charge of Blue Book.
Alan somebody. Hayek.
No, Hayek was the scientist.
Captain Adams.
But they had a military guy in charge.
though. Yeah. No, I agree. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, because that's how I was referencing it in my brain, was the Project Blue Book, and I was thinking of the two, and I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, so he's the modern day version of them, essentially.
Yes.
He goes round and does all the questioning, and he gets all the witness statements and things like that, and he makes the official notes.
Well, he sends people to go and do it, and then he
collates the notes and things.
But again, it's not him witnessing it.
Yeah.
So maybe he's more the blonde geezer, the blonde general, whatever his name was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, vaguely. I haven't seen that show a lot.
He's a bit like Mulder, never says it.
Oh, he says a lot, Mulder, doesn't he?
Scully saw more, but she still refused to believe it anyhow. Back to Grusch. In accordance with protocols, he provided the Defence Office of Pre-Publication and Security Review and the Department of Defence with all the information he intended to disclose to us. His on-the-record statements were all cleared for open publication on April 4th and 6th, 2023. So he's still into all the official channels, he's on the record. If he does come out he's lying, it's just going to be like, what's he going to do with his life? You don't even new identity and re-employ him.
They'd have to, would they?
Now, Grusch's disclosures and those of non-public witnesses under new protective provisions of the latest Defence Appropriations Bill signal a growing determination by some in the government to unravel a colossal enigma with national security implications that has bedevilled the military and tantalised the public going back to World War II and beyond. The Foo Fighters in World War II.
Yep.
Yeah.
That first part of that paragraph sounded like lyrics to a song.
Grusch's disclosures of those non-public witnesses, man. It's maybe a Bob Dylan thing, isn't it?
It's the under new protective provisions of the latest defence appropriations.
It's the militaristic Bob Dylan.
Signal a growing determination by the some government unravel a colossal enigma, national security
What song do you listen to? Because that sounds shit to me.
Well, it's either The Doors or it's Bob Dylan.
No, it was like it was all the little shuns at the end of like lots of words within like one paragraph. It just sounded like almost like a rhyme or something.
Either way, I think
You're not the streets.
lyrically or not, he's going through all the official channels to leak this as well. He's taking it to Congress.
So he's not going to get like slammed up and put in the jail for it then, because of like the Official Secrets Act.
There's probably
like that.
pressure for that, but a lot of people in Congress are like, well, what is... Come on, more and more, you're leaking more and more.
What you're doing is telling the truth.
And you don't know. Congress, they're never going to tell everybody in Congress the truth about UFOs. Because they're out, it could be out in 4 years. And that's a lot of people. Every 4 years, you've got to keep stum, you've got to keep quiet. Same as the president wouldn't know about UFOs, wouldn't know the truth.
But they represent the people.
They do, but it doesn't mean they have to be told about stuff.
If they got the clearance, they need the clearance, don't they?
Some might have it.
Yeah.
Look at Independence Day. If you put
exactly. Why wasn't I talking about this?
He didn't know that Area 51.
Exactly.
He didn't know about Area 51 and the underneath, and you know what I mean. So he didn't know about that, did he?
Even the general didn't know about it.
Yeah.
He was like head of the army.
He was well pissed off.
He was not happy, was he?
But does it come out of military budgets?
It comes out of black budgets.
Black budgets.
Well, the Pentagon has failed all their
whoever it is that
audits, haven't they? They've had
all the financial ones, yeah, because they're well over budget, because they're researching fucking crashed UFOs, that's why.
Now we know why.
Trying to reverse engineer shit.
Because they know that they get that under their belts, they start flying craft with that detector. No one's stopping them.
Do you know what the funny thing is, right? If this is true, and they do have these spacecraft, and they are managing to reverse engineer them, then surely space travel,
Solar Warden,
is well within our grasp, and getting to other viable planets that we could exist on sounds even more likely that we'd be able to do that, even within our lifetimes.
It goes back to that guy from Skunkworks.
the guy at the Boeing Skunkworks, the head of the Skunkworks. We've got their stuff, we know how to use it, we can go faster than light. We've got bases on the moon, Randy Kramer. Maybe all these people aren't so bad after all.
I don't know about that one. That's a stretch, that one, isn't it?
You've got alien technology now.
Yeah, you're on about time travelling him back into his body, for God's sake.
Well, you know, time travel's a possibility.
It could be. It could be.
For the Montauk project.
I don't think it's ever going to be.
The dildo chairs.
The dildo chairs for the kids. It's horrific. Yeah, that's legit apparently. Well, if you believe in the Montauk project. So the guy who says he was there says. Creepy as fuck. For many decades, the Air Force carried out a disinformation campaign to discredit reported sightings of unexplained objects. Now, with 2 public hearings and many classified briefings under its belt, Congress is pressing for answers. Let's face it, there was a disinformation campaign to discredit reported sightings. You'd have your career blocked if you were
still going on.
Apparently a little bit. It's meant to be open now, isn't it? But
NASA have said that they've got their own task force, haven't they? And they said they've been hindered.
Yeah, NASA now has its own task force.
And disinformation.
You'd have thought NASA had had one for the off, wouldn't you? Really, they're looking at the fucking sky.
You'd think that,
You'd
but
think, wouldn't you?
they're the ones who cut live streams if something they don't want you to see pops in. In loads of
airbrush photographs.
Can you trust what NASA says? That's what we'll get into this at the end. Who can you actually trust?
You think NASA will have their own bit of branch that's just investigating and just
maybe you'll find
debunking.
They might well be the Men in Black. You know the
NASA.
Who knows?
They're the reptilians.
Who knows though?
You know, they're the Nazis.
The Nazi reptilians.
Technically.
You know, like these Men in Black. I don't mean like Will Smith and fucking what's his tits.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. I mean, literally, like the ones that are supposedly real. Maybe they're the NASA super secret forces kind of thing, because nobody really knows where they come from.
There's some evidence suggests that they're aliens.
It's possible that NASA doesn't know anything because the army's not told them.
Or
NASA is a non-military organisation.
Yeah.
Or the fact that they could be aliens could also prove an even bigger link with NASA, because maybe that's where they've got the connection with that.
Well, if anyone's going to make contact with aliens, it's going to be NASA.
That's
isn't
what I mean.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
Is it through NASA? Because nobody knows.
But then, as soon as NASA makes contact, the military and the all the various alphabet agencies, the intelligence agencies, the people who really run the country, are going to step in and go, we don't handle this.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves about talking about making contact. All we've done is
we've
possibly recovered crafts.
Eisenhower had that treaty. Where do they got the crafts from? Proves it all.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Carl E. Neal, a recently retired Army Colonel, and current aerospace executive, who was the Army's liaison for the UAP task force from 2021 to 2022 and worked with Grusch there, characterises Grusch as beyond reproach. He was running the task force, so that's good. Got a reference.
Yep.
Christopher Mellon, who spent nearly 20 years in the US intelligence community and served as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence for Intelligence, has worked with Congress for years on UAPs. To quote him, a number of well-placed current and former officials have shared detailed information with me regarding this alleged programme, including insights into the history, governing documents and the location where a craft was allegedly abandoned and recovered, to quote him. To carry on, however, it is a delicate matter getting this potentially explosive information into the right hands for validation. This is made harder by the fact that, rightly or wrongly, a number of potential sources do not trust the leadership of the All-Domain Anomaly Research Office established by Congress.
Resolution Office.
Resolution Office.
Melon.
Sorry. No. You could be a melon.
I've been wanting to say that word as soon as you mentioned his name, but you hadn't took a breath for me to get it in. Melon. It's a great name. Makes me think of a big boob.
So they're having trouble getting the information into the right hands because obviously they've been burnt before, I guess.
Yeah. But now more people in Congress are taking an interest. Because what are these things? They're buzzing your mighty aircraft carriers, the pride of the American fleet, and you can't stop them.
They're buzzing them.
They're flying around them. They're playing games with the fighter pilots and in the F-16s and the F-18s and the F-22s, and they can't catch them. So what does that say about what America has in its front line? Doesn't matter what they've got sitting in a lab. And then you had to ask the question, like I said the other week, about my new theory, that they're buzzing their own flown fleet. They're testing their new stuff, their next stuff that's going to come out in the next 50 years against the stuff they've got now. Because if they do need it, can it take on the latest generation of fighters? Clearly the answer is yes.
So you think there's two different... so there's the army, and then there's the sort of Men in Black army that's testing new...
I think there's a lot of defence contractors who are employed by the Department of Defence that don't tell your generals and that they've got this stuff, because they don't need to know they've got this stuff. It's being tested in remote bases somewhere. You're not going to tell every general that you've got this stuff because, again, plausible deniability. The chances of leaks.
Plus they're a private company.
And plus they're a private company, so they're just testing this stuff out in their little private base somewhere.
Could be.
They're above the military chain of command in many respects. Well, the conventional chain of military command.
Well, they're not held accountable to the British, the American people.
Well, for all we know, we're doing exactly the same thing. Jonathan Gray is a generational officer of the United States intelligence community with a top secret clearance who currently works at the National Air and Space Intelligence Centre, or NASIC.
I wouldn't trust him.
Why is that?
He's a grey.
Oh my god, what if he is a little grey? Has anyone seen Jonathan Gray? Oh, he'd have a holographic thing, wouldn't he? Previously he'd experienced serving private aerospace and Department of Defence special directive task forces of private companies, private contractors. To quote him, he says, "The non-human intelligence phenomena is real. We are not alone," Gray said. "Retrievals of this kind are not limited to the United States. This is a global phenomenon, and yet a global solution continues to elude us." So we're not all working together with this stuff for the betterment of humanity.
Of course not.
We're all hoarding it jealously, possibly fighting each other over crashed spacecraft.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Putin's doing now. Maybe Ukraine have got something that they want.
You know what? It's you could put that on the thing. You could put that.
What the fucking reason
you
does
could
he
put.
have?
You could. Well, he's just a territory mad kind of semi-dictator, isn't he?
Well, it's the USSR back.
You could put a
And
pin,
the Americans fucking overthrew their government, didn't they?
Yeah, but they didn't invade it, did they?
No, they didn't. No. They overtook the government, which is argues even worse.
Yes, but they still didn't feel the need to cause a war and kill hundreds of thousands of people.
But they're messing with people's elections again. The Yankees always do.
It's not like they haven't got a history of it.
Doesn't make it right, does it?
No, but it's not like you don't expect them to do it. You know, I don't know why you're so surprised and outraged.
Everyone forgets that though, don't they? It's like, oh, Russia invaded Ukraine. Yeah.
Yeah, but they did promise they'd never invade them.
Yeah, and the US promised they'd never go up to the border with NATO.
No, that's never written down. That's whispers at best, that is, I'm afraid. There's no tangible evidence for that. There's no agreement.
It was a verbal agreement.
And if Russia wasn't so aggressive, its neighbours wouldn't feel the need to join NATO.
Well, there's that too.
You know, so they haven't got a track record
You can't
of
say
attacking
that NATO
people.
hasn't been aggressive.
It hasn't started a war.
No, but they're putting weapons into
Protective
right
posture.
in Turkey and everything, right on Russia's border.
They've got them on their
What
borders as
happened
well.
when Russia did to Cuba?
Well, that was wrong, Mike, clearly. It's alright for us to do it, it's not for them.
Yeah.
We're outnumbered.
We're outnumbered. They're only one country.
There's
They're
loads of them.
outnumbered.
And you got China, they're going to get North Korea, loads of them.
1,000 US bases around the world.
I do think there's more of us than there are of them, though. Luckily.
Yeah, but I mean, our generation are going to go down and do the business. We're all too old, and the next one's a crap.
We'll be their dad's army.
Yeah, we'll just defend. Yeah, we'll defend.
Well, you might have to do it in an alien war soon, who knows? We may be shooting down their craft for all we know.
Yeah.
We're shooting them down. I think they're crashing, aren't they?
Yeah, how are they crashing?
Kind of looking forward to it, to be honest.
Could be shooting them down, couldn't they?
It's
We don't
apparently from a lot of people theorise that they don't like radar waves, they like strong directed radar waves. So we're bringing them down with radar, basically.
Right, I find that hard to believe.
Forward to
Advanced beings and they can't deal with radar.
An alien war.
Why are you looking forward to an alien war, Pete?
I'm just picturing Starship Troopers.
Well, that's a horrific way to die.
I'll
I'd
be
rather
dying.
a Mars attack, so at least I just die instantly.
I won't be dying.
Well, do you
I
think-
don't plan on dying.
Mars attacks over getting like one of those guns off Starship Troopers.
Well, the ones that never run out of bullets.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you fully. Right? I'd be in the MI. Don't get me wrong, in an alien war. But at the same time, do I want to fight arachnids that are going to like skewer me and rip me in half?
They might not.
Just keep your distance.
They probably are though.
Just keep your distance.
Have you seen the casualty rates in that film?
Just keep your distance.
The casualty rates are horrific in that film. You've probably got like a 5% chance of coming back.
You just have to be like
If
Johnny
you do,
fucking...
You can't have an army of Johnny Ricos.
Yeah,
If you do come back, you'll have no arms and legs.
And if you do come back, you have no arms and legs. Like, look, oh, well done, mobile infantry. You made me the man I am today. He's got no legs. He's missing an arm.
Still alive though.
So what? No, give me the Mars attacks invasion scenario where at least I just get vaporised instantly.
Nah, I'd go out fighting. Fuck that shit.
I'm not saying I'm not going to fight them. I'm just saying.
You're not going. You're just gonna go vaporise me.
Yeah, I'm going to be shooting at them still
Are you? With what?
with a rifle.
On Mars
You shoot them in the
attacks,
dome, don't you? In Mars attacks.
Yeah.
Oh man, can't believe you'd rather get torn in half by a fucking arachnid than just instantly vaporised.
But I might have that, get that grenade and put one through the top of a bug and go, yeah!
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I am with you,
I
but
pictured that as well, man.
Yeah.
it's just a worse death if you do die. And no one's luck holds forever.
Just don't die. It's as simple as that.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, what did they tell everyone out in the First World War and the Second World War? Okay, everyone, just don't die.
They obviously
Just
didn't,
don't die,
they
okay?
obviously didn't think about it. They just overthought it. Everybody just thought, just don't die. Alright.
You're fighting for the human race as well, not just,
Well, yeah, I'm not going to turn that down. I'm just going to do it. I'm just saying that it's just a nasty way to die. I want it quick and clean as possible.
Yeah,
It's alright, I've got my 6-inch fucking
He's
steel
you
bar.
just put that in his mouth, wouldn't you?
Put it in his mouth. Bite down now, you bitch.
You should have it sharpened at both
Oh,
ends.
it will. Oh, but barbed.
Ooh.
Barbed, yes, very important. Maybe I'll do an 8-inch one.
Grusch, reported to Congress on the existence of a decades-long, quote, publicly unknown Cold War for recovered and exploited physical material, a competition with near-peer adversaries over the years to identify UAP crashes or landings and retrieve the material for exploitation or reverse engineering to garner asymmetric national defence advantages. So in other words, so let's example, let's say that at this some point in this the last 50, 60 years, British Special Forces and American Special Forces may have had a bit of a scrap over a crashed craft. Same with maybe Russians, Canadians, Chinese, Pakistanis, Indians. All these big countries want this stuff.
Rushing to the crash site kind of thing.
Like, that fits in exactly with the Mexican Roswell scenario, where all of a sudden the Americans have got a team in place, ready to go at 30 minutes notice, and and they're overflying the area. Oh look, the Mexicans haven't had one before. They haven't realised you've got to have hazmat suits on. They're all dead. Let's send our chaps in and we'll vaporise the area with a little nuke just to sanitise it.
Why would you do that?
The theories of the Mexican one is that when the craft was opened, you're not supposed to be just in a shirt and trousers. You're supposed to have a hazmat suit and it kills you. So they'd loaded the craft up, and then they'd all died of the effects of inhaling what was in the craft. The Americans knew this because they had satellites and spy planes overhead and went, oh, look at that. Free UAP. We'll have that. And of course, Mexico can't exactly complain internationally, can it?
No.
They stole our UFO! They stole our UFO! What do you mean on a UFO? Shh, we don't talk about that, remember? But there's every chance that allies, enemies, etc. have been killing each other for years.
Well, we don't know that. He said a Cold War.
Yeah,
he never said a hot war.
No. Covert black ops teams in the Cold War. You had Americans killing Russians, Russians killing Americans.
Maybe on a small scale, but
on a very, very small scale, like black ops, like Dutch's team in Predator. They're off the books.
Yeah.
You have people like that go in, or something happens to them, there's a train accident, or their names don't even exist. It is a possibility.
So Predator,
You've got
wasn't just a movie.
It could have been a documentary.
Yeah.
Predator could have been a documentary.
I think it was.
I think it might have been.
Word for word accuracy as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have me some fun. I'm gonna have me some fun. Stop dry shaving. You don't have a beard. Beginning in 2022, Grusch provided Congress with hours of recorded classified information transcribed into hundreds of pages, which included specific data about the materials recovery program. Hundreds of hours of recorded classified information and hundreds of pages.
But still, Congress has not been provided with any physical materials related to wreckage or other non-human objects.
Well, they're not going to give him that, are they? He hasn't got access to that. He's just got the access to the data.
I'm saying that's the problem, isn't it? That's what we need now.
Didn't they give some of this exotic material to Tom DeLonge and to the Stars Academy at one point? Because Luis Elizondo went to work for the To the Stars Academy. You familiar with that, guys? Tom DeLonge from Blink-182 has this thing called the To the Stars Academy, and they look into flying saucers. He's a massive UFO nut, UAP nut.
Yeah.
And he's got this whole... He recruited all these intelligence guys, used loads of his own money. Got Luis Elizondo, who broke the UAP stuff after the 2017 UAP stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, they released that, but they've been given some exotic material to work on, and we've heard nothing about it. Is Tom DeLonge now a government shill? He's taking that corporate dollar, taking that government tax dollar, isn't he?
Maybe he's been told to keep quiet.
Yeah, maybe.
Grusch's investigation was centred on extensive interviews with high-level intelligence officials, some of whom are directly involved with the programme. He says the operation was illegally shielded from proper congressional oversight and that he was targeted and harassed because of his investigation. Grusch said that the craft recovery operations are ongoing at various levels of activity, and he knows the specific individuals, current and former, who are involved. Individuals on these UAP programs approached me in my official capacity and disclosed their concerns regarding a multitude of wrongdoings, such as illegal contracting against the federal acquisition regulations and other criminality, and the suppression of information across a qualified industrial base and academia, he stated. I like the way he's worded that, that's nice.
Yeah.
Obviously, associates who vote to Grusch said his information was highly sensitive, providing evidence that materials from objects of non-human origin are in the possession of highly secret black programs.
Oh, so they're not blue anymore, they're black.
Yeah, black ops,
Yeah.
black budgets, shady world of black operations. I'm telling you, Solar Warden, Andy Kramer, it's all fucking true. It's all true. Just throw it out there. Grusch's assertion concerning the existence of a terrestrial arms race occurring sub rosa over the last 80 years, focused on reverse engineering technologies of unknown origin, is fundamentally correct, as is the indisputable realization that at least some of these technologies of unknown origin derive from non-human intelligence, said Carl Nell, the retired army colonel who worked with Grusch on the UAP task force. Again, all on the record.
Mm-hmm.
Congress should be pushing this then, shouldn't they? A little bit more. Like, let us see a bit of.
Of course, especially if they're illegally withholding information.
Yeah.
Isn't it then up to Congress to decide whether...
Will the people know?
Yeah.
Have we got this stuff? Tell us everything now. Because the issue there is, if the US military came out and said, alright, Roswell was real, this was real, Benjamin Forrest was real, all of it was real, or every crash you've ever heard about happened, we've got the stuff, we've been testing it for years, no one ever trusts anyone again, no one ever trusts anyone in the government again, certainly not the military.
No, but they'd have to have an explanation why they, have had to slow disclose.
But is that a reason for lying to us in the first place?
Well, when they don't know what it is, why tell us what it is?
Why cause panic for no reason?
What if they got the bodies?
They still don't know what it is. They still don't know if they're ready to attack us. They still, there's so many unanswered questions.
There is, but you're worrying about the biggest secret ever, aren't you? Life on other planets. We're not alone in the universe. I mean, I get it. I do get where you're coming from. You don't want to cause a panic, especially in the 1940s, 1950s. People weren't ready for that. They just fought World War II.
Look how scared they were when they heard War of the Worlds on the radio.
No, there's that. You look at the nuclear arms race. Everyone was terrified over that, and then they were dropping aliens on them.
I think we're ready now, aren't we? We weren't ready then, but we are now.
We've made enough movies to prepare us now.
Yeah, we've lived through all of it, haven't we?
What, Independence Day, War of the Worlds, E.T. And
Close Encounters.
I do genuinely think that the Greys are the ones who we've got contact with.
Hold on a minute.
Right, hang on, let me just finish what I'm saying. Because if we've got contact with anyone, I think it's the Greys. Because look how much their face is in pop culture. That's been drip fed to us for Christ knows how long now, decades. You can get t-shirts, posters.
That just means it's been corporatised, doesn't it?
It does, but the more familiar we are with seeing it, the less we're going to freak out when we're walking past down the street and they're living on Earth.
But this doesn't say anything about aliens, alien bodies. This is just craft, isn't it?
Craft, but
so it might be unpiloted craft.
It might be, but I think we can probably throw in some bodies somewhere. Yeah. That's our bold assumption to make.
Maybe not.
Maybe they're going to be our leaders and we'll all have to wear them t-shirts.
They probably already are our leaders.
There's a whole human hybridisation theory, alien hybridisation theory that suggests they're trying to worm their way into tendrils of government by creating alien human hybrids that look more and more like us with successive generations.
Look at that crazy little thing that creaked out of Biden's sleeve. Did you not see that?
I didn't see that.
What?
Crazy little alien thing that looked like it
I might have seen that.
Out of Biden's sleeve.
I watched a Facebook reel on about like security guards who look like aliens or demons and shit.
Yeah.
Did you see the same one?
Yeah.
And then something kind of comes out of Biden's sleeve and goes back in.
Yeah. It's exactly the one I'm talking about. Now,
a lot of it just looked like
allegedly
dodgy camera angles, though, didn't it?
So a lot of it was either dodgy camera angles, filters, just over fucking laying crap onto it,
lighting.
You know what I mean? Video editing is so easy nowadays compared to what it was 10 years ago. So it's not unthinkable that someone's easily just.
Do you remember when Hillary Clinton coughed up them alien eggs?
I was just thinking about that, right? As he was saying that.
Yeah.
But I can kind of believe it with Hillary, that's the thing.
They weren't alien eggs, they were sort of speculating that she was really ill and she was coughing up bits of lung or whatever.
So she's not an alien?
No.
I thought she was.
I think she was sort of a bit doped up and I don't think she was physically well.
She definitely spit something back into her glass.
Yeah.
Weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Anyway, it was doctored.
Yeah.
I used to never forget that footage of her laughing her ass off hysterically when they told her Gaddafi had been killed. Leaning back, laughing, it was mental.
Sickos, isn't they?
She was an odd one. She won't come back on scene now, will she? She ain't going to go back in the presidential race.
No.
Fucking hope not.
Well, after she got beat by Trump.
Yeah.
That's got to defeat anybody, sure. If you don't hang yourself after that, then you're a fucking.
They got no shame.
World.
They got no shame. These people. They don't care.
She's got a cushy government role, isn't she?
Whether the Democrats or the Republicans in charge, they don't really care because they're still on top and they still make all the decisions.
Just wait till the Sith take over.
Well, good Jedi Mike here to stop that.
I'll stop the Sith.
Mincemeat. Enjoy your lightsaber and then just get cut it off.
I could be got one of them.
Mine's made of plastic.
Not fair.
Haven't you got a real one?
Damn. Should have completed my training.
I wish you got past question 2.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have downloaded that certificate. God damn it.
Grusch's willingness to take risks and speak out appears to be emboldening others with similar knowledge who believe in greater transparency. Jonathan Gray, the intelligence officer specialising in UAP analysis at the National Air and Space Intelligence Centre, is speaking publicly for the first time, identified here under the identity he uses inside the agency. NASA, headquartered at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, allegedly the successor to Area 51. They reckon they don't use Area 51 that much anymore for storing stuff. It's talking stuff, but it's a nice, convenient little look over here. While everything's at Wright-Patterson.
They'll turn it into a museum soon, won't they?
Yeah, they won't need it.
Yeah, because they'll have some other secret base somewhere else. Area 61.
Yeah, Area 69.
Or Area 69.
Gray said that such immense capabilities are not merely relegated to the study of the prosaic. To quote him, the existence of complex historical programs involving the coordinated retrieval and study of exotic materials dating back to the early 20th century should no longer remain a secret. The majority of retrieved foreign exotic materials have a prosaic terrestrial explanation and origin, but not all, and any number higher than 0 in this category represents an undeniably significant statistical percentage.
Yeah. Just needs one of them to be not of human origin, and that's it. So more people are speaking out with him.
Yeah.
Only time will tell on that then, won't it? How many more people come out before they have to start releasing stuff?
Yeah, Mellon, who we spoke about earlier, Mellon, the former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defence for Intelligence, not exactly a bad title,
Mellon,
has been instrumental in arranging classified briefings for members of Congress and other officials at UAP, which include references to exotic retrieved materials. The first briefing he facilitated on retrievals of unexplained objects was provided to staff members of the Senate Armed Services Committee on October 21st, 2019, and to staff members of the Senate Intelligence Committee 2 days later, as reported by New York Times.
I imagine working there and be like, I've got that UFO guy, I got that meeting where I've got to watch a presentation by the UFO guy.
Fucking Mellon is UFOs.
Because some wouldn't take it seriously, would they? They'd just be like, oh, do you want to meet for dinner after?
Yeah, well, we'll have drinks after this,
Drinks after.
Yeah. Lunch.
Maybe drinks before, actually.
Drinks before,
it's
not one you're going to be sober for, this is the UFO briefing, isn't it? Yeah, just going to listen to fucking Mellon talk about your flying saucers for a bit.
Yeah.
Probably doing lines of coke as well. Allegedly. Maybe if Michael Gover's on there. I haven't got to say allegedly about that one.
Did you see him dancing on that video?
I have seen him dancing on the video, yeah.
I think he was on the coke.
He's known for it.
What video is that?
There's a video of him at a discotheque. I have to say it like that because he looks like an old fucking fuddy-duddy dancing, but his eyes are like pinpricks.
What's his name?
Michael Gove. Yeah,
you don't want to go spend too much delve too much as that weasel-faced fucker.
No.
Now, classified briefings are often presented for Jonathan Gray and his team at NASIC. High-level classified briefing materials exist in which real-world scenarios involving UAP, as evidenced by historical examples, are made available to intelligence personnel on a need-to-know basis. And he says, I have been the recipient of such briefings for almost a decade.
Wow.
So he's been doing these briefings with the Congress for a decade.
He's been receiving briefings about exotic materials and potentially crashed crafts for a decade.
Mm-hmm. So he's got a bit of time under his belt, hasn't he? A bit of experience.
Oh yeah.
It's like Mr. Bean dancing.
You've just watched it, have you?
The case of David Grusch marks a crucial test of these new whistleblower protections and their ability to protect future whistleblowers who decide to come forward. So you don't end up like a Sarge stuck in the Ecuadorian embassy for how many years. Jonathan Gray says secrets though have been necessary, and to quote him, though a tough nut to crack, potential technological advances may be gleaned from non-human intelligence, UAP retrievals.
Of course, I mean, it could be anything, couldn't it? Perpetual energy.
There's a theory that microwaves came from Roswell. You microwave oven, same as fibre optics.
What about the silicon chip?
Possibly the same.
Really?
Yeah, came from Roswell.
Well, it's all up for debate now, isn't it? If this is true.
Yeah.
They've been back engineering for decades.
All this mobile phone technology, things like
Wi-Fi,
that.
yeah.
It makes you think though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, well, hang on, there's a lot of people here who've had some very important positions.
So do you think the Chinese have found more UAPs than the rest of the world because they've got every fucking invention?
I would think that if you were another species coming to look at the Earth, you would do your research and see who's the monitor the channels, monitor the radio signals you got coming out from the Earth.
Well, technically,
And go, right, who's the big dogs on this planet? Let's go look at them.
Japan. They're the most technologically advanced country in the world, aren't they, Japan?
Yeah, they weren't in 1930 or in the 40s, though, were they?
They certainly have been for the past decade or two.
Yeah, but if you look at 47 Roswell, who were the big dogs then? It was the US, they had the atomic bomb.
My point is,
The atomic bomb basically was a fucking lighthouse for alien craft. As soon as that's the theory, as soon as they realised we had we had got nuclear reaction, like, right, these boys are like on the next level now. They figured that out. We got to stop paying attention to these guys because they could destroy us.
Maybe.
Sorry, Pete, carry on.
I don't know.
I do apologise. I was halfway through a train of thought.
What about the Japanese?
The Japanese.
Yeah, but are they like not nowadays?
Oh, there's every chance Japan's had
That's what I
crashes, you know.
So their technological advancement.
But if Japan had crashes, I'll guarantee you, because they were under American occupation for a long time,
Went straight to America.
it went straight to America.
Potentially.
'Cause
Certainly in the last
you wouldn't
few
even have to
decades.
tell the Japanese officials in that scenario, would you? Like, oh, we know it's come down, we've got satellites, they haven't. Something's come down in Japan, right, we're on it.
But you look at their speed of advancement in the past 20, 30 years, like in technology, like the way they've been making all these crazy robots, AI and all this, I don't know, they just seem very... And you go into Japan and like shops and things, they're all like proper space age futuristic to us, what we're looking at in fucking Total Recall going, oh wow, look at that, where it's actually like that kind of
Clone
shit.
your pet.
A lot of shit. I don't know about that. There's a lot of shit
Probably, if you got the right place.
that you kind of think of in films actually is happening already in places like Japan.
Yeah, it is.
Tokyo, and it's like a completely new world.
A lot of big Japanese, some of the Japanese industrial engineering, some of the best in the world, isn't it? Japanese build quality is famous. You know, cars, engineering, they're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you outsource it to Japan, to independent defence contractors who work for you, because you pretty much run their country anyway? I mean, America's still got bases there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Got 1,000 bases around the world. You know, but they occupied Japan after the war for a good, I don't know how many years, but it was a while. That's why the Japanese are really good at baseball.
It's part of the noose that they got around China's neck. You can see it, all the bases, it goes around the south of China like that, like a noose around its neck.
Well, they're big boys, China. I'm sure they can handle themselves. Though a tough nut to crack, potential technological advances may be gleaned from non-human intelligence UAP retrievals by any sufficiently advanced nation and then used to wage asymmetrical warfare. So therefore some secrecy must remain. However, it is no longer necessary to continue to deny that these advanced technologies derived from non-human intelligence exist at all, or to deny that these technologies have landed, crashed or fallen into the hands of human beings.
That's it. I mean, what has been recovered and what the materials are, what it does, that can remain secret, but surely just to say we've at least got these things.
Yeah. They owe us that, didn't they?
Gray noted that the hypothesis that the US alone has bullied the other nations into maintaining this secrecy for nearly a century continues to prevail as the primary consensus amongst the public at large. To quote him, he says, "My hope is to dissuade the global populace from this archaic and preposterous notion and to essentially pave the way for a much broader discussion." So it's not the US bullying everyone, everyone's at it. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants this stuff. And you can guarantee there's probably been a few little fights over certain things next to a border or not so far across into the other country that hasn't quite...
We saw it first.
Yeah? They don't know it's crashed yet, right? We might have 2 hours getting there. Yeah. Go and get it before they even know we've been in and out. Grusch said it was dangerous for this 80-year arms race to continue in secrecy, which it fucking is in all fairness, because it further inhibits the world populace to be prepared for an unexpected non-human intelligence contact scenario. So he says, "I hope this revelation serves as an ontological shock sociologically and provides a genuinely uniting issue for nations of the world to reassess their priorities." Big if true. And it is dangerous if everyone's got a secret arms race going on for 80 years. Something's going to give at some point.
Someone's going to go pew 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 pew.
Exactly, and then before you know it, everyone's using their pew pews.
Pew pew.
It's like that scene. Have you ever seen the film?
The thing is, the first nation to get this technology and back engineer it, and it's like 100 times better than what everyone else has got. Well, they're going to conquer the world, aren't they?
Yeah.
No one else can defend against it.
So,
yeah.
So are we going with the line that we were given this, or it's crashed and we've just retrieved it and taken it?
Crashed and retrieved, I think.
So surely it's, if it is the Greys, whoever it is, surely they've got a directive to not lose any of these crafts or any of this technology to us.
Well, you'd think so, yeah, but I guess shit happens, doesn't it?
Maybe this is why Eisenhower had a meeting with them, because they had some of their crafts and they're like, look, what are you going to do with them? We need them back, or if you're going to keep them, you can't do this, you can use that, we'll help you work out what this bit is, but you've got to promise to leave it at that. You don't know, do you?
That's it, you're not ready for that bit.
Yeah. We'll give you a bit, but we're taking the craft back.
Or they will drip feed it to us so as we get, or they think we can cope with it a little bit more. Or to weaken our position if they're trying to overthrow us. You know, they might drip feed it to us.
I think if they were gonna sort of overthrow us or attack us, they've got the top technology and they know where we are. We're not moving, are we?
Don't forget about the hybridisation period.
Let's bring it back to reality, shall we?
Just saying, it all ties together.
All the moment we know.
It all ties together.
All we know.
If I'm in a room, right, there's bits of red string everywhere.
Yeah.
It's connecting, it's all connecting.
Yeah, no, but it isn't though, is it? Because you've got no evidence for that. The only evidence we've got at the moment is it possible non-human crafts have been recovered. Yeah, it doesn't say about aliens. You know, it could be a drone like we send them.
It could still non-human.
Yeah. But you're on about hybridisation of the human race. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
You used to just have flagged down a black cab and head for Real Street.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm just saying that it does tie together.
Possibly.
They're non-human until we do find out whether it's human or not, because it could be like other humans.
Like Battlestar Galactica.
From
I think you'll find it's
away.
Yeah, we could be a seeded colony, yeah.
I think you'll find it's material though, isn't it? That's how they know it's non-human origin, because they're finding some
the materials are on Earth, but it doesn't mean they're not humans we're a seeded colony from another planet, perhaps.
Oh, yeah,
and they're checking up on us with drones, and we found these drones now that materials made from a different planet still could be human.
Maybe that's what the Greys are. They've just evolved slightly different to us because of the slight different conditions.
And the Nordics aren't that different from us if they're believed to be true as well.
That's true enough.
So you think they're purposely crashing them to give us a little bit of tech?
I think maybe we figured... is there a possibility we figured out how to bring them down without exploding them? I mean, is there a direct beam of radar waves or something that can interfere with their propulsion system and bring them down?
I think it's more likely it's just a case of an accident.
But why have they got seatbelts?
50% of all the probes we sent to Mars, they failed, haven't they?
Allegedly.
Remember the British one, the Beagle?
I do. Do you
Christmas
Beagle
Day.
too? After that. Oh yeah, that was just a disappointment for everyone on Christmas Day, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
There we were, expecting to see a triumph of British engineering, built in a shed, sent to Mars.
We piggybacked alongside the Americans, didn't we?
And we're like, yeah, this is ours, this is Beagle, and then it just fucking didn't work.
Yeah.
We
should have known, shouldn't we?
So I've watched the Queen's speech for nothing, and now I'm here watching this fail. This is terrible.
Did it get off the ground?
I don't even know.
We don't know what happened to it.
I don't know. It probably just crashed on impact.
Landed, I think, yeah.
It's broke apart.
No.
But still, this
is the closest we've ever been to knowing there's aliens out there, isn't it? This is the closest,
There's
surely.
some Congress involved and all that lot. And yeah.
But unfortunately, it's not the smoking gun.
It's the uncovering.
No, it's that further step towards hard. This is technically a hard disclosure, isn't it? If this is true.
It's the uncovering. You got the soft disclosure.
They didn't want this to come out, did they?
No.
They've tried to stop this guy.
I don't know. I don't think they did want it to not come out. I reckon they wanted it to come out. I reckon this is part of the drip feeding, the soft disclosure, because it was only a couple of months back that Pentagon released their little soft discllosure that there's a good chance
why didn't they just
there's
tell
another ship outside, just
I saw
outside our
that.
solar system.
I think we had that on Weird News, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I posted it
Yeah.
on there.
But what stops them telling Congress then? Why are they lying to Congress?
Well, this is the thing. They might not be.
And
This is their way of drip feeding.
No, well, they're saying that Congress has been lied to and not been told about these materials.
Well, they don't need to know until they need to know. And now they need
That's
to know.
what I mean. So he's
because
leaking it out. I think that there's evidence that they wanted to stop him. That's what I'm saying.
He said he was hindered.
I don't know, if they wanted to stop him and they knew that he was going to leak shit, they'd have stopped him.
I don't think once you've gone public, I don't think they can just shoot him in the head though anymore.
Not now. Beforehand, yeah. Before he'd gone public.
Maybe that's
But
the
other
80s
people
they
are backing him up.
No, you've got this grey character, you've got his colonel.
Yeah, they would have said, "Oh, well, he's been murdered
Yeah.
suspiciously, and he's been trying to get the truth out." So it may have blown up anyway. So they might have thought, "Well, we can't go down this route.
There's at least
We'll
three.
just try and block him."
Well, if you look at this, you've got at least three highly placed
Intimidating.
sources within intelligence communities. You've got some very important people. That Mellon was the Deputy Secretary of Defence. Mellon. You know, you've got the guy who was the Attorney General for the intelligence services.
They're not just easy to disappear. These people, are they? They're
You know,
important people.
They've had bloody important jobs, and they're coming out and saying, "This guy's spot on. I'm representing him. I'm in favour of him. The guy's got a great moral character." And he's destroying his own career by doing this. So why not tell the truth?
But could it not easily just be Congress, etc., are only saying, "Oh, we didn't know nothing about it," because obviously they would be. Why the fuck didn't you tell us then, you twats? Why haven't you released it? If you did know about it, why haven't you released it sooner? So a good chance is Congress and things like that, They maybe did know about it,
I don't
which
think
is
all of
why
them would
this has
have.
been allowed to be leaked.
I
You've got
think
a
maybe some of
rotating
the
door potentially every 8 years for 4 years for a congressman.
I think
You've
maybe
got to
some
tell
of
a
the
lot of people and tell them to keep quiet.
select committees and all that. Maybe they've been told.
They
Well,
got-
yeah, maybe not the whole of Congress, but
Yeah, you wouldn't tell like junior congressman from Alabama that aliens are real, would you?
But
'Cause he won't be
maybe
out in 4 years.
maybe the head honchos and his senior staff, maybe.
The guys who've been there for 40 years, the swamp,
Yeah, the senior
maybe some of them, if their clearance is high enough.
Well, they have
That's
to get
what-
clear to get into these select committees, so they're the ones
Yeah.
that are going to be told, aren't they?
Yeah.
I just find it hard to believe that. I don't know. I'm at the minute. I just think there's a lot of soft disclosure going on. And I think this is all part of it, but this is going down a semi-hard, a bit of a semi-lob-on disclosure.
What do you think about Grusch? Do you think he's telling the truth? Do you think?
Potentially, yeah.
Do you think this is? I mean, because this is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
I like to think he's telling the truth because I'm very intrigued by aliens, etc. Always have been all my life. Yeah, I don't want to go into no alien war or anything, but fucking how amazing would it
A
be
minute
if
ago
we...
you did.
Yeah, I was joking, obviously.
you weren't. You wanted to fight on Clandathu.
If it comes to that, I will fight to the death. No qualms.
He will. He'll be a
But-
proper Johnny Rico.
But
Yeah, the problem is Johnny Ricos tend to die really quickly. That's the
like I
issue.
said, I just won't die, so that's not a problem.
I promised myself I wouldn't die today.
Exactly.
Pete, you're literally just a torso, mate.
It's the competitive.
Your arms and legs are gone. You're like, no, put the nuke in my teeth. I'll cover your retreat. I won't die. I'll be fine.
It's that
Now
uber,
go.
it's that uber competitiveness.
Remember me.
I would not allow me to lose and to die. It's been to lose.
The eight-legged fucking insectoids might have a different opinion to you.
Mate, I'll be biting them. I'll bite
They've
them.
got an armoured hide.
I'll be wearing my Jaws teeth, don't worry.
You've got like that body armour in Starship Troopers is
Yeah.
literally worthless. It might as well be paper mache.
It's
Anyhow.
plastic.
It doesn't even stop your own side's bullets.
But back to reality on that. That's not the chain I was going down, but hey ho. I'd like to believe that it is real because, like I said, but in a good way. Not in
Good
they're going to
aliens.
come and fucking take over our planet. That they want to come down and help us out and say, look, we understand you kind of fucked up your planet a little bit, but do you know what?
We can help
It's
you.
your lucky day. We can help you.
That's
we can
right.
help you sort
Yeah.
your planet out a bit, but we can also help you get to the planet that's just down the road from ours. And you can jump.
No,
you can
why
jump
would they
in
want
there.
us?
Why would they be from Yorkshire?
Because they've got like special.
See,
Are they descended from the Yorkshire colony?
No, they've got
Full of
special.
PG tips adverts in it.
They've got
Yorkshire
special.
too.
They've been watching Sharp on repeat and Sean Bean.
Yeah.
No, they have special linguistic
Bastards.
skills. They have special linguistic skills that allow them to sound completely non-threatening to
It's
you.
true that like Transformers went in the new movies. Optimus Prime is Liam Neeson. He's Irish. Optimus Prime's with an Irish twang.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Less threatening, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Ducky. Would you mind if we take over your world?
It is Zurazek.
We're gonna take over your planet.
I'd appreciate the wrestling promo voice more.
Yeah, but you'd be a lot less
Macho Man Randy
frightened.
Savage was an alien.
Maybe.
You'd be a lot less frightened at West Country or Yorkshire, wouldn't you? Let's face it.
Yes. Not Zurazek though. Macho Man Randy Savage on his fucking off his tits on roids. Yes, every day of the week.
But maybe they'll come and help us. That's my point, and that's
Yeah.
what I like to think might happen. If they're spending the time to get here, it's not because we've watched every fucking alien film in the world that's makes them teethy bitey want to kill us and take over our planet. Hopefully, they just want to come and say, "Hi guys."
You mean like the Nordics did when they met Eisenhower?
Yeah, exactly.
Give up your nukes and we'll turn Earth into like the Federation on Star Trek. And he went, nah, not doing that.
Because he's a fucking dick. Who
Fucking
gave him the right
psychopath.
to choose that for the human race?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What a prick. I hope he's fucking rotting in pieces.
Well,
on that
I got an RIP. I got one RIPD actually. The Iron Sheik from WWE's early days.
Oh.
I don't remember him.
Do you remember when they had the Iraqi guys, the first Desert Storm?
Never watched
Colonel
that.
Mustafa and General Adnan.
No.
He was one of them. I forget which one.
Never watched that rubbish, I'm afraid.
Oh, a little bit of wrestling. And let's say a rot in how to
Oh, Rolf Harris.
No. Pat Robinson, Christian evangelical, basically an American Christian Taliban. And he's dead at 93.
Almost became president in the 80s.
Oh, he did. If he'd have become president, the world would be a very different place now. You got
Not for the good.
Not for the good. Right, so aliens. I think this guy's legit, man.
If he is,
I think this is massive.
isn't it? Yeah.
The fact that also this hasn't really broke into mainstream media. It's kind of been covered up a little bit.
It's weird, isn't it? How all the shit UFO sort of pictures and things and videos, they get captured by the media when something actually fucking juicy and and well, it isn't quite tangible. That's the problem. That's my only.
Well, there's no evidence, is there? It's just somebody's word.
Yeah,
but it's still a highly placed source.
Yeah,
he's got the data. He submitted data. He submitted film to Congress who will look at it. He's risking his life on this, really, if you think about it.
If he actually did. Let's hope it's all actually happened and it's not just fake news, because that can happen.
The guys releasing this have a track record on this.
Yeah. But hopefully it is real, though.
Yeah.
It could all be fake.
Could be.
Just a fucking fake news thing.
Could be a psyops.
Yeah.
Could be.
Hopefully it's not. And I don't think
it distracts idiots like us into spending our Saturday evenings talking about crashed UFOs and we could be overthrowing the government.
Yeah.
It's all a psyop! Jesus!
So was the Champions League final. We better wrap up, but we're not going to get to watch it.
Alright, no. I'm in bed. Thanks for listening. Aliens are real. Don't join a cult.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Claire. Keep open mind, but not so open that it spills out your ears, guys.
And I've been Pete. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and take care. Listen to us next time. And don't drink the Flavour Aid.
Yay!